Welcome to the Genesis Healthcare Podcast, where we go beyond the traditional office visit to explore what it truly means to live with optimal health. Each episode brings you candid conversations with our Genesis providers and featured guests from across the health and wellness space, covering everything from primary care and prevention to aesthetics and lifestyle optimization. Whether you're ready to take control of your health through a Genesis membership or explore treatment options to look and feel your best, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Ready to begin your journey to better? Visit thegenesisdifference.com to schedule your first appointment or aesthetic consult today.
We are now finishing our third year without accepting insurance. I know you guys had a lot of fun with massage therapy several years back, and a certain colorful insurance company. It was yellow. It wasn't yellow or blue.
It was green,
yellow or green.
Green Cross, yeah.
Yeah. So some other company that you guys had some issues with. So I'd like to kind of go into the insurance game a little bit and why we don't use it. But yeah, we're on our third year, and we're absolutely loving the fact that we don't have to be dictated to by
Richard
insurance
jump in there
company.
first.
Okay, Richard.
He led the way for us on this one.
All right.
Yeah, well, about 15 years ago, I first heard a term called post-payment audit, and that took us into a dark period with the insurance company. I had a friend that practiced in Knoxville, and he underwent a post-payment audit. And what that means is you've already done the work, you've submitted a claim to insurance, the insurance has paid their portion of the claim, the patient's paid their portion of the claim, and then several months later or a year later, the insurance company comes in and audits your records. And so they go through with a fine-tooth comb, and if they find a T that's not crossed or an I that's not dotted, they say, oh, well, you didn't quite document this correctly and establish medical necessity for this particular treatment that you did, so we want our money back. You're like, wait a minute. I did the work, the patient was satisfied, the patient paid their copay, but you want your money back? Oh yeah, that's what we want, because you didn't document properly. Well, okay, I'm a sole practitioner, a little peon in East Tennessee, and I'm going against this big insurance company who has the high-paid attorneys and own all the property, the prime real estate in every major city. I can't afford to fight them. So they come in and they do what they want to do. They hit a buddy of mine who was really new in practice for $30,000. I mean, just almost bankrupted the guy. And so that kind of scared me when that happened to him. Well, a couple of years later, they came knocking at my door and did the exact same thing. And we thought that we had our I's dotted and our T's crossed because insurance said, yes, we pay for that procedure, no problem. Patient calls the insurance company, do you pay for this procedure? Yes, we do. Okay. We ask the insurance company, do you pay for this procedure? Yes, we do. Okay, so we perform this and go for a couple of years. Well, they come in, and the issue with us, so unscrupulous, the insurance companies, they could care less about the health of their subscribers. They could care less about the providers. They are just there for their bottom line. So the issue they had with us, we had licensed massage therapists performing procedures in our office that were supposedly covered by the insurance company. Well, the insurance company comes in, okay, who's doing this procedure? A licensed massage therapist, like they're supposed to be. Licensed with the state, do their continuing education, license is in good standing. So what's the problem? Oh, well, there's a lesser certificate that they need. Well, why would they need that lesser certificate? Oh, well, it's in our 130-page contract with you. You didn't see that? Well, no, but the certificate that they're supposed to need takes about 3 months to do, and it's just a money grab, but they've gone way above board and have a license with the state. Oh, well, you didn't do it right. So we want a bunch of money back from you. And yeah, it's very stressful for the practitioner. Here's something for you that makes it even worse. So they want their money back that they've paid us. Okay, well, do I owe the patient back their copay? Oh, no, we don't care about that. Yeah. They don't care about that because that was out of the patient's pocket. They're not worried. So if it were really something that were done incorrectly or fraudulently, really you should pay back the patient also. Mm-hmm. But no, they didn't care about that. So we called the patient, hey, this is what's happened. Patient's like, well, I received the service. I was pleased. I'm paying my insurance premiums. They said they were going to pay for it.
I've got the EOB that says they approved it.
Are you going to bill me for that now? Well, no, I can't. That's illegal. So no, it's not going to affect you. I just want you to know this is what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing happened with me.
Yeah.
Same color insurance.
Yeah.
That got me. Actually, several, and they would do audits, and I've already paid bonuses to my staff.
Sure.
And I've already paid.
Paid my employee. That's right.
Paid my employees to do the services, and they came back and said, "We're just going to hold payment until you reach this number, and once you reach that number, we will be satisfied." So basically, and it was maybe a T or an I,
Yes.
a jot or a tittle, right? And literally, what it has come down to, I think, in medicine in general, is it's created an environment of fear that you will not get reimbursed for your services to the degree that we overchart and we over cross our T's, and the EMRs are written in such a way that we're basically now liars and cheaters in order to go get paid for the work that we do. To go to having 7 pages of an electronic medical record that you didn't do.
Right.
Just so that you can satisfy somebody that is at a minimum wage job that is looking at a chart audit and going, okay, yeah, that looks like you've jotted everything. Yeah. And there's no way you can write 7 pages worth of a note in a 10-minute office visit.
If we did what they requested, we would see 6 patients a day if we were filing insurance.
Right.
6 patients a day. There's more people than that in our area that need help.
Right.
You have a busy practice. We have a busy practice. We want to spend our time with our patients. We don't want to spend our time with our computers.
No.
That's right. You end up worrying more about the documentation than you do the actual patient. Yeah.
I mean, you probably you used to spend, I would guess probably 60% of your time was spent with paperwork and 40% with patients. Would that be close?
Well, I never did EMR.
Well, if you did, I mean, that's what from practitioners I know.
Yeah.
I don't know a practitioner that has a weekend free. They're charting.
Yeah.
Or an evening free. They're charting.
Well, I got docked payment because I did a lot of paper charting. I wouldn't succumb to their EMR until I basically don't have to jot all that stuff down. And now I went to EMR, so I have somebody else help me. I still write notes and look at people like I'm looking at you, eye to eye, and treat people face to face like they're actually a human being and not a computer screen and not just a bunch of boxes that I need to check.
Well, we're still taking a penalty from Medicare for not for not using EMR because we're still paper notating, doing paper.
Right. And when you write something down, you know what you're saying.
That's exactly right. So the problem with insurance companies and EMR now, because they pushed everyone to go to the electronic medical records, but then they came back and said, oh, well, that's not good because everyone was doing SALT. Well, SALT, same as last treatment. So the patient comes back in, they have the same complaint, hasn't improved, so SALT, same as last time. But which we never did that because we kept with paper records, which they didn't want us to do, and Medicare is penalizing us for, but they can't track you. They can't say we're doing the SALT thing.
Right.
I want to go back to something you said because it makes my blood pressure go up. I'm still kind of fired up.
That's weird.
You said the word fraudulent. We had 3 auditors knock on our door and come in our office one day and say, you have been accused of insurance fraud. They used those words when they came in my office. So, okay, well, who's accused us? Oh, we can't tell you that. So to make a long story short, we checked around, we talked to a lot of different people. They used that same term with a bunch of different people, and they lied. I don't think anyone accused us of insurance fraud. They just wanted an excuse to come into my office and look at records. But it's very offensive to me if people knew how much, and I'm not saying Yahoo for me, that I'm such a great person, but it's just a fact, how much I give away for free. My staff gets mad at me for giving away so much for free. I give away hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars a year, hundreds a month, I'm sure. I never add it up because I don't care. If I feel like someone needs it and I'm not going to get paid for it, I don't care. And like I said, I'm not saying that I'm such a great person because I do that, but it's very offensive to me for an insurance company to come in. They don't know anything about me or my patients and say, you have been accused of insurance fraud. My blood pressure is going up just thinking about it.
If you give it away to a Medicare patient, it's Medicare fraud.
That's right.
That's why we cannot.
Which is prison time.
That's right. And $2,000 per occurrence.
Yeah.
Yes.
This wasn't Medicare that came in, so it wasn't them accusing me. But yeah, it's very offensive.
For trying to do the right thing. For trying to help somebody out.
10 years later, I'm still mad about it. Yeah.
I can't tell.
Therefore, we only take 2 insurances at the moment.
Right.
We've dropped the rest. Some of them were wanting to pay us $14 a visit. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I can't pay my staff with that. Mm-hmm. You know, I have to make enough money to keep the electricity on, pay the light bill, you know, pay my staff. And it's not fair, you know. I'm coming on 40 years. Richard, what, 22?
23 years.
23 years. You don't pay for our time, you pay for our experience.
Right.
You know?
Right.
With that kind of experience, you know, we have time because we can make better decisions a lot faster. But for an insurance company to want to pay $14 for that is insulting, and I won't accept it. And that's why we don't accept Medicare anymore. They want to pay us $24 for a Medicare visit. It's like, I just got finished paying off student loans about 10 years ago. So no, I'm not accepting that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's very, very insulting.
It is. And going back to the fraudulent, you know, now we're over documented. Are we not?
Oh, for sure.
Doing fraudulent activity?
Yes.
If we're over documenting things that weren't done?
Oh, yeah. Well,
but it was done by their standards.
Yeah.
You know, and those are things that they bother me. They really just bothered me because I was like, well, why do I have to do all of this just to charge somebody for things that I've actually done for them?
Well, see, with chiropractic, we don't really have to worry about that so much because they only pay us for a certain number of codes.
Right.
So I can't document 7 different procedures because they don't pay me for that anyway. So even if I did it or documented and said I did it or actually did it, they wouldn't pay me for it. So for us, we don't have to worry about that as much as you, but you're primary care. So gosh, you do everything.
I might have 10
this
diagnosis codes.
Yes, you're all over.
And I have to, and if I don't get all 10 of those correct, then and the ICD correct, then I don't get paid for any of it.
Right.
And linked correctly. Linked, yeah. Don't put the wrong diagnosis with the wrong procedure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I think it's gotten to the point to where it's made us in primary care, or even just in medicine in general, we're so, you see this in the hospitals a lot of times too, that we're so, and I'm not throwing stones necessarily toward these providers, but we're so geared toward making sure our documentation is done and correct that we forget that there's a person here that is in the middle of this documentation and our visit with them.
Easy to do.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Patients are in the crossfire.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
And
they're paying the bill.
That's right.
For both.
And it shouldn't be us working for the insurance company. It should be the insurance company working for the patient.
Right.
Instead, it's just the opposite.
Right.
We were talking earlier. I've got a patient that
I got
comes
rid of
in.
it.
Got a
I'm
patient
like,
that comes
you're
in.
working with me now.
I want an MRI. You've got radicular pain going all the way to your foot, tingling numbness, scale 8 out of 10. It's been that way for 6 weeks. You've tried everything else. You need an MRI. Well, I got to call my insurance company. Yeah. No, you should do 6 weeks of physical therapy. It's like, they've been dying for 6 weeks. Oh, go get a CT scan.
Oh, yeah.
A CT scan won't show what we need to show. So they get a CT scan.
Or an X-ray.
Yeah, there's something there's something suspicious there. We need an MRI. Well,
no,
Sherlock, yes. Yeah. We need an MRI. And it's really inhibiting patients getting the care they need when some ding-dong that has a GED is working at an insurance company deciding your health care for you. They are making decisions on your health care, and they know nothing about medicine. They look at the book. It's got a tab that says MRI. Have they done this? If they haven't, it's denied. And some things are critical and time sensitive.
Right.
If you have a disc that's herniated and you don't handle it fast enough,
chronic radiculopathy.
Not only that, you may lose bowel movement. You
Cauda
may lose
equina
bladder
syndrome.
movement.
Yeah.
You know, you caught equina syndrome, and then you know, there could be paralyzed. There's a chance of that. You know, you sneeze, boom. Now you don't pee all over yourself. You know, and things are time sensitive sometimes.
Sure.
And insurance companies don't care about that.
No.
6 weeks, 6 weeks. It's always 6 weeks. Yeah, they're hoping that you'll die before you get the test done.
So something that, you know, you were walking into an establishment last night where I saw you, and that same person who owns that establishment had an MRI done that ordered the other day. And I'd ordered it, and he went in with his insurance, and it was going to be his copay was going to be $450 or $475 or something like that. He said, "Really?" He said, "What's the cash pay on that?" Because I negotiated a little bit with him, and he said, "Well, it's $400." So, you know, instead of going through the rigors a lot of times of getting it covered and denied and this is and that's, just go pay for it out of pocket, and a lot of times it's going to be cheaper. At least for the people that have the $6,000 and $7,000 deductibles,
which is very common now.
Which is the mainstay, right, of the working class. You know, we can't afford a $2,500 MRI at certain places here in town, but we can afford a $400 one.
Yes.
And it's the same imaging, and I don't have to right, and I don't have to order a CT or an X-ray to get there. I can say,
you don't have to pay
get it.
And you don't have to pay the separate radiology fee because it's bundled with the $400 charge, which is another big charge. A radiology charge can whack you pretty good. So
sure. So yeah. So I love the fact that we can critically think, and I will say from a critically thinking process is insurance companies and that algorithm that the X-ray, CT, MRI, physical therapy, all of that algorithm has basically trained providers how to think. Because we think the way insurance tells us we can think now, instead of actually using critical thought.
Yes.
Because when like we've all been in spine, right? You know, I was in neurosurgery when I first got out, orthopedic surgery with Jack Williams years ago, and so we operated with sometimes we'd have MRI, you know, sometimes it was CT, sometimes it was, I don't know, a physical exam. And the fact that it wasn't getting any better in the last, you know, 2 months. Right. So, you know, so it was really neat to actually walk through that and see, you know, like we are really good at looking at a physical exam of a back, looking at an X-ray of a spine and going, okay, does it hurt here? And you have weakness here? Do you have this here? And so we can literally critically think, critically examine, you know, look at pertinent positives and pertinent negatives in the physical exam and history, and then go, look, would you operate on this? Would you get surgery for this? Well, no. Well, why do you need an MRI? Just to know that you won't have surgery. Don't get an MRI.
Yeah.
But if we see something, we go, hey, you need an MRI because that's the roadmap to surgery, right? And those are things that we can actually look at, you know, because we've been in spine. But because we've been in spine, we can see that, right? But I think a lot of clinicians around the country and our approach to not just the back, but to imaging has been, well, we have to get this first because, and I'm guilty of this all the time.
CYA.
I'm like, all right, we got to get an X-ray first of your belly. All right. You know, I know you've got, you know, a hot belly, you know, and, you know, the ER wait time is 12 hours, but I got to get an X-ray today and I'll see you back tomorrow, you know, or go to the ER. I'm not going to the ER. Well, I can't get a CT right now because, you know, so many people have ordered CTs today and it's backed up and it's this and that. So, you know, the system has created its own juggernaut. And,
sure.
And the clinicians are just following what the insurance and the system has created.
Well, and I think part of it is they have intentionally caused these hoops to jump through so that a clinician will just say, forget, we don't have time. Okay, do I have staff time or my time to call in and do a peer-to-peer or get a pre-auth done? No, I don't have 2 hours to sit on hold. I don't have staff that has 2 hours to call and get hung up on, call back. talk to someone, then get denied. We don't have time to do that, which I think is by design by the insurance company. Like if okay, well, they're just going to throw their hands up and say, forget it. And then, oh, great. Well, now we don't have to pay as the insurance company for this procedure.
Number one, there's no such thing as great coverage. It's the unicorn. When you look at what you pay for your premiums, and then what you pay for your deductible, and then what you pay for your copay. If you pick a plan and increase your deductible and pay you instead of paying them, you're going to come out more cash at the end of the year because your premium is going to be, to pay you is going to be a lot less than just your premium every month, much less your copay. It's just, it's ridiculous. I've been in practice almost 40 years, so it was at a time it was becoming more economically advantageous for consumers. And what changed all that was Obamacare.
Oh yeah.
Right before that,
I was in DC the day that
right before Obamacare kicked in, tests were coming down, tests were becoming affordable, MRIs, X-rays, everything. And then it ballooned after that because you decrease competition, you increase price.
And they made you buy it.
Right. Yeah.
So they made a law for themselves to be consumed.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you can, if you have insurance, you can decide who you want to go see. And if you want to go see somebody because they take your insurance, that's the risk you're going to take.
Yeah.
If you want to pay for what you truly get, then a model, I think, that you and we have we're probably 65 to 70% that way. And then really a lot more people are seeing the light of day on that and doing that because they can but it all comes down to patient care.
Right.
Can we take better care of our patients with or without the insurance, And I really think that, you give a much better opportunity for a patient to have interaction and have customized care than an insurance company can dictate.
Well, they get the assurance that we're actually here. And so I tell my students and my other providers here, I said, you've got your two best tools in your bag are your eyes and your ears. And if you're constantly staring at a computer and not listening and not watching that patient, you're missing their tell. You're missing what they're trying to tell you. And then you've got to get to the next patient and you've missed it. And they're frustrated. And so that's what I've tried to do with this model of care is actually give them, instead of the insurance company taking care of them, is give them the assurance that we're taking care of them. I don't like the health insurance game. I don't like the fact that, and I've played it since Obamacare. I was paying roughly around $400 a month for my family of 5. It went to $800 the next year, $1,200 the next year, and $2,000 for the same coverage since. So I left that industry and I went to a major medical policy with the same deductible, and the major medical policy has now got, I've got 2 married off now. So I've got 3 in the household. That is now $400 a month again, and a major medical policy that doesn't cover anything but major medical. And it's a $4,000 deductible. It was basically the same care that I was getting with the colored company, right? So, it wasn't Blue, it wasn't UHC, it was just this major medical policy. And so I was getting health insurance in case, my analogy to that is, the turning left in a right-hand turn and hitting the guardrail. That's when you use your insurance. You don't use your insurance to balance your tires and wheel alignment and changing your oil. That's for your primary care. You should pay for that, and so that's where I really have tried to get to assuring my patients that we are here to give them some care and to listen to them, to look at them and to say, hey, what do you need? Well, let me see if I can help you with this, instead of saying, let me see what's covered on your insurance. Or let me see what the next step is to in the algorithm of procedure or imaging, so that I can get you to the final end result. And I've got 2 or 3 people right now that are on the wings of needing surgery right now, and we can't get them. We can't get it done. And because they haven't waited long enough. They haven't gone through enough physical therapy or chiropractic, so they're not allowed to get anything done. And I'm like, dude, man, you got a hot disc and that needs to come out like right now. Right.
I pray every day for every person sitting in an insurance company to have a disc problem for a week. I mean, Richard, I got into it because I had back problems. Richard did not, but we see it every day, but he's got back problems. I mean, if you've ever had that, if you've really had a spine problem, that's a pain that really can't wait.
Oh, no.
It really can't wait.
Yeah.
I know you work with Spine and Pain Associates, as we do a whole lot, and that's a really good, we try to keep our circle.
Right.
So that I know if I text you and I say, hey, this person needs you, I'm not blowing smoke.
Which happened last week.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And we got it done.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, that I'm not sending them just because.
Sure.
I'm sending them because this is immediate.
Right.
We need some help. And so that's the good thing about a lot of the doctors in the area that we work with. We have a circle there where we know I can text you at any time and you're going to text me back. And the same with Spine and Pain, Dr. Jane, Dr. Wilson, Dr. Bailey, all those guys, they're very responsive. And it's just good to have that because they can help us expedite a lot of those insurance things sometimes too.
Sure.
So,
or going back to what you said is just take care of the problem. And we'll worry about, the insurance later.
Yeah.
They need this now. They don't need to wait the next 2 weeks for insurance approval and their peer-to-peers and whatever it may be. So sometimes it's, hey, just take care of them because it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
And so I like that mentality because it's the right thing to do. Mentality. It's just it's this model of membership healthcare and direct primary care, however you want to say it, has given me a new heart, again, not a new heart, but just a heart for medicine in a way that I was worried about me losing over the next few years.
I think a lot of physicians have lost it.
Because we didn't go into medicine just
Right.
to make a good living. Right. It's like we have a heart to serve people. I broke my ankle playing baseball. And so I sat on the couch and watched Andy Griffith for 8 weeks. And Andy Griffith taught me a lot in those 8 weeks. And a lot of them was I didn't want to watch Andy Griffith much more. Right. And so, and I sat there and I thought, well, baseball's over. I broke the top of my talus off. And so I'm done. Right. And so I started studying and went into medicine. I broke my back when I was in high school, and Lonnie Jackson actually took care of me down there on Rome Street. And so, and so, those things helped me go, wow, these guys are really good at taking care of people. Jack Williams was one of those guys that worked on my back and worked on my ankle and just about everything else because I was not a dull boy. I had a lot of orthopedic injuries. So, but that empathy and watching those guys and what they did, it just kind of, gave me that ability to go, I want to do that same thing. I want to help people that same way. And then I learned the system. I grow up in the system of insurance while I'm practicing medicine, and I'm like, dude, this is miserable.
it's not that you didn't have a heart. It hardened your heart.
Yeah.
And now
it's open.
It's open. That's right. That's exactly right. I mean, we feel the same way.
And one thing that you do with the new business model that we've done for years, that's fantastic, and patients love it, is they know they have direct access to you.
Yeah.
For years, we have put on our business card that is available for everyone. We have our cell phones on there. And some people are like, you give out your cell phone number? Yeah, always have. At least for 20 years, we've had our cell phones on there. Patients can text us at any time.
From flip phone days?
From flip phone.
Bag phone.
They can text us at any time. And what's funny is our patients don't abuse it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't get bothered at all.
Yeah.
And I tell patients, look, if it's a problem, it's after hours, shoot me a text. You're not bothering me.
Yeah.
And I know your patients do the same thing because they brag about it. They love it. And that's just, I think, unheard of in the healthcare model these days.
Well, I think you're going to hear more and more of it because that's part of my objective is that more providers look this route. not just in primary care, but in all areas. Because when you really look at the X's and O's of how much things cost and how much they really cost, it's a big difference. I use the CBC, for an example. If one of the labs sends a request for a CBC to be paid to one of the insurance companies, they'll usually charge around $120 to $150 for that test. I can get that test for $3. That's a big deal. That's the exorbitant waste that we have in healthcare, and why the patient is bearing the burden of this. And so I just said, look, let me just tell you how much this cost me. And then this is how much it costs you. It's not much more. And so that's pretty cool to be able to do that and show people that. And they're like, I had a $2,000 bill for this last time because I didn't reach my deductible. I had to pay all $2,000 for something that should have cost $150.
And that's what they don't know. They don't know that once that's turned in, they can't go back and renegotiate the cash price.
No.
Yep. I'm just like you. Every self-employed person, you're essentially forced to go with a catastrophic plan to get your premium to where it's affordable. But you do that. So, okay, I'm at a $7,000 deductible now, but my premium dropped $250 a month. So with that $250 a month I'm saving, well, I can join the Genesis Healthcare and have all the access to my provider, get the blood work included. I mean, it's a no-brainer for people if they would just crunch the numbers. So for example, if I need an MRI, well, I just take the negotiated cash price at HMG and pay the $450 out of pocket rather than file it to my $7,000 deductible and then charge the insurance $2,000. Then the insurance charging me $2,000. So I just negotiate the cash price for everything, and the $7,000 deductible would only be used in a catastrophic incident. Mm-hmm. Say I had a car wreck, spent a week in the hospital. Well, there's $500,000 right there. Okay, well, my insurance is going to kick in at that point. But for everything else, I'm healthy. I work out. My wife's healthy. She works out. My kids are healthy. They work out. Okay, well, so anything we need, DPC system is going to be there for us.
All right.
So, yeah, it just makes sense. It's so easy when you break it down, break the numbers down. Increase your deductible, lowers your premium, take that money, and it will more than pay for your membership to Genesis. And so with that, when you're a member of Genesis, you don't have to wonder if you're going to be seen by your provider, if you're going to have to call, leave a message, hope the nurse calls you back the next day or the next day. You're going to have instant access, and you can sit down and have a conversation with a normal person who knows you, who knows your family, who knows your parents. You saved my dad's life in COVID by getting him the medication he needed, which no one else would prescribe him. It's just like I know my patients and their families. Someone from United Healthcare can't say, well, why'd you treat this patient 4 times? Well, actually, I treated him 4 times in a week because he had to drive to Nashville. He's had the same job for 30 years. He and his wife, I've known them for 20 years. I know his kids. I know exactly what he's going through. I know what happened to him 10 years ago. I remember that because I was treating him. So your person sitting in a cubicle 5 hours away can't make the correct decision for this patient. They've never had their hands on them. They've never done the physical examination. They don't know them, their family, their background. I know that because they're my patient. They're like family to me. You know that about your patients because they're like family to you. You know their names. You know their dog's name. You know their grandkids' names. You looked at the grandkids' pictures. So there's a lot to be said for that. And medical has just become such a big business that patients lose out. But in the direct access model, you save money, you get better care. It's like family.
Yeah, and I will say this too. We lose out too as providers.
Sure, like he said, we get jaded.
We lose our heart. We get calloused. Being calloused because you see bad things happen to people is one thing. Being calloused because you can't do anything about it is totally different. I mean, that's totally different. So if I can pump on somebody's chest and be active in my PTSD of medicine,
right?
Then I'm active in it. I'm participating in what I know to do to take care of this patient right now. If I'm not allowed to do chest compressions because it hasn't met a deductible yet, I mean, like, I sit there and watch the guy gurgle,
Right.
and go, I could have done chest. That's a horrible analogy, but it's actually
Not really.
really what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will say, a follow up to the care, so you get to a certain level or number of people that you can care for appropriately. And what my goal is that I have students with me all the time. I have providers that are in the area or out of the area that also want to do these things. And I'm actually looking to, when I get to a certain level, like, I expand and bring somebody else that I've vetted that can do the same thing that we do. And we just expand this.
Expand the model.
And we develop a care system of people that I can trust, and just say, these are the guys I trust. If I don't trust you, then I don't use you. I can still be your friend, but I don't trust you because of the insurance games or whatever else that we got to play. So I do appreciate you guys being here today. I appreciate what you do for our community and what you always done for our community. And so being stand-up human beings is really cool.
We feel the same way about you.
I know, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
Thanks for tuning in to the Genesis Healthcare Podcast, empowering you to live optimally. Ready to take the next step? Visit thegenesisdifference.com today to learn more.